Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Tony Talks, a show where we have conversations with inspirational leaders, influencers, change makers, people that aren't just doing well in life, but that are doing good in the world by sharing their knowledge, sharing their thoughts, sharing their impact, sharing what they've learned and what through life, and just making an impact, right? And giving back, not just taking. Today, I have the honor of having none other than Sharon Lechter. She is an entrepreneur, best-selling author, philanthropist. She's an international speaker, licensed CPA. She is a CEO of her own company. She's co-authored international bestseller, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. She's written 14 other books in the Rich Dad series, built the empire into the world's leading personal finance brand. Starting in 2008, she was working with the Napoleon Hill Foundation to help re-energize the brand and has released 3 best-selling books in cooperation with the foundation, including Think and Grow Rich, 3 Feet from Gold, Outwitting the Devil, and Think and Grow Rich for Women. She's also released Save Wisely, Spend Happily in cooperation with American Institute of CPAs. But listen, enough of that. I am going to just bring Sharon on. She's absolutely an amazing individual, and I'm blessed to have her, and we're lucky to have her on screen with us. Let me just bring her in here. There she is, Miss Sharon Lechter.
Hello.
How are you? Welcome.
I'm fantastic. I am fantastic. Thanks for inviting me to be here, and thank God for technology. We can still keep in touch with each other.
I know, amazing, because you're out in Arizona in the middle of nowhere in on your ranch on a couple hundred acres, followed up by a couple thousand acres, and you're on satellite internet, which is impressive that we can communicate. We are living in fascinating times. So I'm glad and happy that you can join us today.
Yep, I'm technically completely off the grid. We have our own solar power. We have our own well. The only thing, but to connect us to the outside world, we have satellite internet. So here I am. It may not be the clearest picture, but it's pretty darn amazing what we can do today.
It is indeed. It is indeed. So for everyone that's watching, please share this right now on your live stream if you choose to do that. Tag somebody that needs to hear this. Today, we're going to be discussing, among other things, and obviously the world being where it's at, discussing one of the things that we like to discuss is her book, Outwitting the Devil. And you can certainly ask other questions. Again, she wrote, she was a co-author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So she is just a wealth of information. And again, here to share with us. So ask your questions, share this video, and whatever comes up, we'll answer. And whatever we don't get answered now, I'm sure at one point we'll be able to get answered through Sharon. So again, thank you for being here, and let's get started. Tell us
Absolutely.
a little bit about, tell us a little bit about you and how you got started with specifically in particular with the Napoleon Hill Foundation, and how that, how you came to be.
Well, Tony, I grew up in a very entrepreneurial home, and we lived in a tiny house between my dad's used car lot and my mom's beauty shop. We owned rental properties. I had to scrub out bathrooms between tenants, and we had orange groves. I hated it. I swore I would never be an entrepreneur. I wanted to get a degree and get a career and have the 25-year career and retire to a nice pension fund. So a pension plan. So about the ripe old age of 25, I realized how hard I was working. I was a CPA. I got my accounting degree, became a CPA in Atlanta, and was very successful. Probably 25, I decided my parents were a lot smarter than I thought they had been, because I was working for other people instead of working for myself. And that's when I made the decision to become an entrepreneur. And I've never looked back. And it's been many, many years ago. Started a woman's magazine, and then met my husband, and we had children, and didn't like to read. I met the inventor of the first talking children's book and helped grow that company around the world, my first global brand. And we did partnership with Warner Brothers, Sesame Street, and it was a huge success because it was the first time kids had any kind of technology. So we said, in order to get parents to trust us, we needed to align with brands that they trusted already, like Disney, Warner Brothers. So it was a wonderful learning opportunity to understand brand association, to understand distribution, global, and really promotion, and before the internet. So it was a great opportunity for me to learn. And then we sold that company in its fourth year. And about that time, our oldest son went off to college. Okay, and he left in September, came home in December in credit card debt. Now, we didn't even know he had a credit card. He got welcomed at the campus with a table, free pizza, free money, free t-shirt, free money. Good time his first semester in college. And he came home in December asking us to bail him out. We wouldn't do it. We haven't always made the right parenting decisions, but that was December of 1992. And that's when I dedicated the rest of my career to financial literacy and financial education, because I thought I had taught him about money. I taught him the things that I learned, but I didn't realize he had a credit card. And he got himself into trouble, as did many young people at that time. So my passion is as strong today as it was back then. And everything I do is supporting young people, entrepreneurs, to create a financial life of freedom. And that's by buying, building, and creating income producing assets. So you fast forward a few years, and my husband called me. Mike's a intellectual property attorney, and he met this guy and came into his office with Bermuda shorts and flip-flops and this idea for a board game. And that was when I met Robert Kiyosaki with his idea for the cash flow game, the rat race of the beta test. But it was exactly the kind of lessons that I was teaching. And so we became partners. And I said, in order to sell this game called Cashflow, which he wanted to sell at $200, I said, maybe we should write a brochure that kind of explains the philosophy. And so we did. And we wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which was the brochure. Most people don't understand that we never expected it to be a product all by itself. We considered it a brochure to sell the game. And so the world said, no, we want more. So we ended up writing Cashflow Quadrant, Rich Dad's Guide to Investing. And they said, oh, we still need more. So over our 10-year partnership, where we grew Rich Dad around the world, we wrote 15 books together. So all of a sudden, we were a publishing company. And we were blessed with success. And again, before Amazon, believe it or not, before the internet, old time people actually had to go to bookstores to buy it or order it on the fax machine. So, but in 1991, in 2007, we'd been partners for 10 years. And he wanted to go into franchise, and I didn't agree with it. So I made the decision to leave the company. And so I tell people, sometimes you have to close one door for other doors to open. And it was then when I got the phone call from President Bush to ask me on the first President's Advisory Council for Financial Literacy, which was Obama. And then I got the call from the Napoleon Hill Foundation. This is a long story to answer your question, but in 2008, we knew what was happening to the economy, and I knew Don Green, and he had recently learned that I had left Rich Dad, and he called me and said, Sharon, we need to revitalize the teachings of Napoleon Hill. And he asked me to join forces and to come in. So my first book with the foundation was 3 Feet from Gold, which we published in 2009. And then that's the same month we published that book was when he called me with the manuscript for Outwitting the Devil. So we did Outwitting the Devil, then Think and Grow Rich for women, and most recently Success and Something Greater. But it's been an incredible relationship. Napoleon Hill is the largest personal development brand in the world, and so it's just been a huge honor to support them and to continue sharing the teachings of Napoleon Hill.
Absolutely. Listen, I mean, who hasn't? There are a few people that are super successful or that have not read Think and Grow Rich. I know that I've got probably 2 copies sitting around. I've listened to it on Audible. I've got the paper copy. I think it's fantastic. And one of the first books that I read from you was 3 Feet from Gold, which I think was great. I even yesterday when I was on with Alex Stern, I was talking about how, so many people say they're tired of starting over. I say it all the time. Well, then stop quitting and you won't have to, right? So being 3 feet from gold, that's gold. That book is gold. So many great teachings in there. So fantastic. It was
a great project.
What's that?
It's a great project, and it's very, it's really apropos for people today. People that are feeling defeated and downtrodden. The book talks about companies that survived a major downturn and how they did that. And our personal success equation is something that everybody really should think about today. And that was released in 3 Feet from Gold. It's called, taking your passion and your talent. Now, my passion didn't come from something I loved. It came because I was angry we weren't teaching kids about money. But my passion is as strong today as back then. My T for my talent was my degree in accounting, all my publishing experience, and I was able to combine those. But most of us stop there thinking we have to do it by ourselves. And it's important to understand that business is a team sport. So it's P plus T times A for the power of association. And for instance, I welcome my new association with you, Tony, and I look forward to us having other opportunities to work together.
Absolutely.
But that association is who's on your team, who's your mentor, who's there to hold your head up when you get fearful. That power of association is truly important in creating a successful business today. Times another A, and that's taking action. And that's right now so important because everybody's so fearful that they're paralyzed. It's important to use this time to retool and to redefine what you want. So the probation is passion plus talent times association times action plus F. And that F stands for faith. Faith in yourself, faith in what you're doing, faith that it's needed and necessary. But too many of us, that F is fear. And it's keeping us from realizing the success that we deserve.
Love it. Love it. Love it. So right. So passion, talent, action, and fear.
Yes, passion plus talent times A for association times A for action plus F for faith.
For faith.
And actually, I welcome everybody. If you go to personalsuccessequation.com, just personalsuccessequation.com, I have a download that helps people, particularly during this time, to really dig deep and talk about, to really think about your own passion and your talent, but also your associations. Some of them you may need to disassociate, right? Others you may realize that you need to actually have that power of association. A new one, mentor who's gotten us to where we are today is not the right mentor to be tomorrow. And that's so important to do a really honest assessment of who you have around you, who's on your team, who's supporting you. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in trouble. Make sure you have people that have been there, done that can help you succeed and open doors for you and introduce you to their network, to their associations. And that's what we go through this download. We walk you through things that you can do differently. That one thing, that one action step that you can take that can open all kinds of new doors for you.
So by the way, what is that? Oh, personal. Oh, never mind. Angela, thank you for posting that. Angela, I was trying to type it in, but Angela got it. Passion.
Personalsuccessequation.com.
Equation.com. Perfect. Thank you, Angela. So even with these glasses, sometimes I've got to squint. So thank you for that. Thank you for putting that in. I love that. Or you can just take notes like me. I'm always, by the way, when I'm looking down, that's what I'm doing. I'm always taking notes because dropping pearls of wisdom here. So I love that. Passion plus talent plus times association times action plus faith. Love it. Always faith over fear.
And when I start working with somebody, Tony, that's the first thing I do. I walk them through that formula. And I will tell you, it's either associations that need to change or faith. They have a lack of self-confidence. Those are the two major areas that I find when I work with people that we need to bolster their self-confidence and have them establish some little wins and guidelines. But also, they're probably not hanging around with the right people. They probably don't have the right advisors, the right associations. And 9 times out of 10, the first step they make, the first new association, oh my gosh, tons of opportunity starts opening for them.
Oh, without a doubt, listen, in today's, when I was growing up, it was birds of a feather flock together. You lay down with dogs and you get fleas. Now it's, you become the average of the five people you spend the most time with, right? But it's so true. And I love the saying, if you're if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room unless you're given the class, right? I mean, or unless you're teaching somebody something. And while, listen, it's all about contribution. So you've got to be, sometimes wherever you are is where you are, because there's always something to learn. But yeah, surround yourself with people that are doing greater things than you, that you can learn and associate with, right? And having partnerships and strategic partnerships and alliances is everything. So love it.
Well, I take it a step further. Yeah, I take it a step further, Tony. In our second book, which is Rich Dad's Cashflow Quadrant. In fact, I just used this for another interview. I'll share it today. We have the Cashflow Quadrant. Well, this is, on the right side is employee, self-employed, right? That's you exchanging your time for money. You're the economic engine in your life. Now, on the right side is business. B&I stands for business owner and investor, right? This is where other people or other systems are working for you. And so when you're only getting income from the left side, then you actually are your own economic engine. That's it. Something happens to you, the money stops coming. And a lot of people are feeling the brunt of that right now. But if you have income from the right side, businesses that you own or investors, you may be feeling the pinch right now, but these are all economic engines working for you. So the amount of money that you can make on the left side of the quadrant is finite, because there's only so many hours in the day and only so many days in the week. But on the right side, your income potential is infinite. Now, I make money from all four, but I make much more money on the right side of the quadrant. I'm the employee of my own company. I'm a speaker, so sometimes I get paid for speaking. I own businesses and investors. And so all of this. So when you talk about power of associations, ask yourself, the people that you hang out with, you talk about the 5 people that you hang out with, where do they make their money? Right. And if they're all sitting over here, then there's not going to be a lot of encouragement for you to move over here.
Yeah.
Hang out with people who live over here so that they challenge you and they can guide you and be your mentors to help you move to the right side. Everything I do, every book I write, every mentoring client I have, every speech I give is geared to moving people to the right side of the quadrant, for them to create economic engines that will help their family and create financial freedom.
I absolutely love that. I love that. And I'm such a believer in that. There's a saying that I read a while ago, and I've posted it several times. And it says that if you look around at your circle, and those in your circle aren't inspiring you, lifting you up and pushing you to go further and faster and to grow, then you don't have a circle. You've got a cage, right? Because they're holding you down, not lifting you up. And there's a lot to that.
I love that.
Yeah, there's a lot to that. So yeah, surround yourself with people that are going to lift you higher, and spend time. And here's the thing: a lot of people say, "Well, I don't know a lot of people that are super successful, that own businesses, and how do I meet those people?" Well, you've got to go out and make an attempt. And in today's world of social media, by the way, it's easier than ever. Just if there's someone that you like, that you respect, that you want to follow, that you are following, engage with them on social media. You'd be surprised how many people will actually respond to your text when you send somebody a message asking them a question, especially today where everyone's kind of like at home. Yeah, you know what? Maybe you send a message to Tony Robbins or to Gary Vee or and you may not get an answer back, or maybe you will. You never know. But if I can just inject a tip here, and this is something that I've already learned, is by engaging in other people's content, you start to get closer and closer. So it's just easier. Just get in the mix. Get in the mix is probably the best tip, and it's easy to do on social media.
So true. And I do believe people are more accessible today right now because everybody's schedules basically were stopped. So we have a lot more availability. The other thing, and we share with our clients and people who say that, I don't know anybody rich. I go, well, is there a nonprofit that you believe in? Get involved working with a charity, because when you get involved with that charity, you're going to meet the big donors. And all of a sudden, you're going to have connections with people who are rich, who have a similar passion. And that way you can start getting to know people that are in that higher economic echelon. And so, yes, people are more accessible now because of what's happening in the world, but also think about where they are. Where are they? And that's where you need to go. So you have the best opportunity to meet them.
Absolutely. Go where the money is, so to speak, right? Go hang out where people are. And right now everybody's on social media. So perfect opportunity to start engaging with the people that you respect and that you admire and that you look up to, like Sharon Lechter.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Let's see. We have a question here from Danielle Hicks. Any tips for people who are not living in the USA where it's easy to do business?
Well, hello, Danielle. I know Danielle. Absolutely. The internet allows you to do business across country barriers. So make sure you have the right system set up so that you can do that. And it's never been easier to work globally and to have opportunities to sell and educate people on a global basis. So make sure you have the right systems, you have the right people, and you understand how to do that. And don't try to do it. Don't try to do. Ask forgiveness, not permission. Get somebody that knows what they're doing and ask them to support you in getting set up the appropriate way now. Now is a good time to invest in yourself. I say, we've had a global reset, totally global, total. I mean, who would have, if somebody would have told you 3 months ago that people are going to be in their home, the restaurants are going to close, there are no more sporting activities, we would have thought they were crazy. But here we are. And so what are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit and hide? Or are you going to, people think they're trying to make humor about it on social media, saying I'm exchanging my day pajamas for my night pajamas, or I'm binge watching Netflix, right? Or, they talk about toilet paper. All of that is great. Humor, we need a lot of humor right now. But are you spending and wasting your time? Or this is an opportunity for people to reevaluate, re-envision, and evaluate what isn't working in your life and get rid of it. Retool, all right? Sharpen your axe. Get that opportunity to educate. I've said earlier, there are people that I know that are taking some online courses from Harvard and Yale. They're very inexpensive. And all of a sudden, they're going to be able to say they have these certifications from Harvard and Yale. That's going to build their brand. So retool, re-educate yourself, all right? And then refire. So that, and I made this comment on your show last week, so that you're on at the front of the wave, not capsized by it.
That's
but
right.
It's important. The choice is yours. Are you going to be preparing so that you're ready? Because the contrast between 2008 and now is severe. In 2008, our economy was really sick. The loan to value ratios were just completely out of whack. And so when it collapsed, it took a long time to recover. This time, our economy was so strong and so healthy. Unemployment at 3.2%, historic lows. Stock market, historic highs. We were doing great. And then the carpet got pulled out from under us. And so, yes, we are in a world of hurt right now. But when we come back, I believe we will come back very strong.
Yeah.
Some industries will take longer than others, but I'm positioning myself to be able to benefit by investing low, to be able to benefit when it goes high. And it's understanding where the opportunities are and preparing yourself to seize those opportunities. Those individuals that are doing that now will come out ahead. And so don't concentrate on day pajamas. Put on your best and start educating yourself and prepare yourself for the next wave.
I love it. Instead of binge watching Netflix, why don't you binge watch shows that, or not shows, but there's so many programs right now being offered for free on Facebook Live or on YouTube. Invest that time. Don't just watch Netflix. Invest the time. Listen, if you want to be in your day pajamas, that's fine, but use that time productively to feed your mind and sharpen your tools, because you don't sharpen your sword in times of war. You sharpen it beforehand. We are in winter now, an economic winter, and it may be short-lived. And I completely agree with you, Sharon. When the engine fires up again, it is going to roar. It is going to roar. And while there are going to be a lot of industries that are going to be a little slower to catch up, the travel industry, there's going to be certain ones that are going to take a little longer to get back up and running. But there's others that are just there's going to be so much pent up demand for product, for services, for whatever it is, that it's just going to roar back to life. It's not going to be that slow trickle. So prepare.
And it's the retooling and taking action that's so important. So for instance, I'm here at my ranch, as we've said earlier. I'm in the middle of the Tonto National Forest. We've lost, $50,000 to $100,000 of bookings because of what's happening, and so I'm not really happy about that. But we're here, we're safe, and we're taking this opportunity to do all that list of projects that we had that we couldn't do when we had guests. So it's like, all right, let's make use of this time so that when we get out, the place will be the best it can be when we open new guests. So what closets do you need to clean, or what do you need to do your business to sharpen it and get it ready to be able to serve people when they're ready to be served? And so it's each individual is making a choice. You can either choose to let that fear paralyze you, or you can let the fear motivate you. Because I know you talked about outwitting the devil, but right now we're in unprecedented times, and I don't have to say that, everybody knows that. But we have that fear of the virus combined with the fear of the markets and the fear of isolation. It's like the trifecta of fear. And it's so important that we recognize it and acknowledge that it's there. But what are we going to do about it? Because we're all feeling the same thing. But some of us are dealing with it better than others. And so it's your choice how you deal with it. If you hide away, you want to, close and get paralyzed and turn off the lights, get under the covers, you're actually compromising your immune system physically, because you're attracting that negativity. So if you turn that fear into motivation and energy, get out into the sun. Vitamin D is supposed to help us. Take some action to reset what you want out of life, redefine it, retool, get ready to refire. You actually build your immune system because you're taking positive action. And so you have a choice to stay healthy and productive or not. And so nobody's making that choice but you. And the reason Outwitting the Devil is so important is that in the book, he talks about the various types of fear. In fact, it's on page 61. I just found it earlier this week, where he's interrogating the devil. And the devil says, "My cleverest devices for mind control is fear. I plant the seed of fear in the minds of people. Seeds germinate and grow through use. I control the space. The 6 most effective fear of poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death." And then he's asked, which of these 6 fears serves you most? And the devil says, the first and the last, poverty and death. At one time or another, during my grip on all people through one or both of those. Guess what we're gripped with right now? The fear of death and the fear of poverty. So that's why this is so important right now. And it talks about how we can go in and analyze that fear and release it and create and prepare ourselves to benefit from the future.
Yeah, listen, I love that. And I was watching that talk that you did with Donna Green from Napoleon Hill Foundation. And so I heard you say that yesterday, which was brilliant. One of the things I like to say about fear, and again, this isn't one of my quotes, but as our mutual friend Dan Clark says, I feel like my life is a bunch of quotes. So I'm going to repeat one that is poignant to that. Fear and faith both demand that you believe in something that you cannot see, right? They both make, they both demand you believe in something you cannot see. So why not believe in faith? Why not believe that everything is going to be okay? We're going to come out of this, instead of, oh my God, gloom and doom, because what you focus on is what you get. So if you're focusing on gloom and doom, whether you get it or not, that's what you're feeling. So you get what you focus on, whether you get it or not, because you get the emotion of it. So don't let it paralyze you.
And add to that comment that your mind cannot hold fear and faith at the same time.
Exactly
so
right.
You can choose which one you want. And thank you, Sherry. I see these comments. Yeah, I have just this weekend, I created a private Facebook group with Lisa Copeland called Crushing Fear by Outwitting the Devil. And we've had 500 people join it over the weekend. We're launching a book study on Outwitting the Devil for the next 6 weeks. It's free of charge. I used to do this book study and charge $1,000 for it. But because of what's happening in the world today, I invite, and we're going to kick it off tomorrow. It's going to be 6 weeks.
Sorry,
so Crushing Fear. Yeah, Crushing Fear by Outwitting the Devil.
Yeah, sorry about that. There's a little bit of a lag. Sherry, if you could, because I see you're typing mighty fast here. Can you type in or just maybe copy the link to that Facebook group and put it here in the comments so people can go back and join it afterwards? Because listen, I'm going to be there because I am almost through the book. I haven't gotten through the whole book yet. I've been trying to catch up on some of my reading or listening at times, right? But I love it. I love it so far. I love it. I'm halfway through, and it's a fantastic read, and so poignant, so perfect for this time. So perfect.
It is. It really is. And and for me, I haven't read it myself in the last year or so. So I'm actually going back through it too. And it's just like Think and Grow Rich. I read Think and Grow Rich every year. And I tell people the book doesn't change, but we do. And so you're not the same person today as you were the last time you read it. So every time you read it, you're going to find a nugget of something that you didn't even see before, but it's the right message at the right time. Outwitting the Devil is the same way. It's going to help you understand other people. It's going to help you understand yourself. It's going to help you find the light at the end of the tunnel. A couple of weeks ago, I get a daily message from Mike Dooley. And it was about darkness. I said, 2 kinds of people in the darkness. One, the people that want to stay there and bring others down into it, or those people that are in the darkness looking for that ray of hope. And focus your time and energy on the people who are, and be that beacon of light, that ray of hope for those people. And don't focus your energy on the people that are there and want to stay in the darkness. And it's so true. In today's world, there are people that are Armageddon, conspiracy, and they just won't listen to the opportunities that may be provided to us. And we're all in this together. We need to get through it together and support each other.
Well, fear keeps you in the dark, right? That's why that's why in the book, Outwitting the Devil, he talks about that's the most powerful thing, because if you stay in fear, you're blind to opportunity. You're blind to the good things that are happening in life, right? I'm going to go back to yet another quote because that's my life, right? Where it was Mr. Rogers. And I brought this up twice last week, so I'm bringing it up again because it's so good in these moments. Mr. Rogers from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood said when he was a child and, they would hear about bad news, the mom would say, look for the helpers. Look for the people that are helping in a disaster. That's where the light is. That's where the hope is. That's where the faith is, right? Have faith and look for the helpers. Look for the good in every bad situation. Right now things are bad. Look at all the doctors and nurses that, my wife is a nurse and she worked last night again. And it's always nerve-wracking when to some of the things that, we hear about. But look for the helpers. Look for the people that are doing good, because there's always hope. There's always possibility. It was raining yesterday. It's sunny today. The sun will come out. Focus on the good and you'll feel good. Focus on the bad and you will feel bad. You will feel bad. So focus on that. I just want to give a shout out to Sean Branch. Sean says he's binge watching Get Up and Grow. Love it. Thanks, Sean.
That's great. But, you know, I saw somebody post something today, and I'm sure I'm not going to get it exactly right, but it said, you know, we're going to get through this together, and I don't want to see Oscars and Emmys and award shows. I want to see them replaced with the same type of shows for the doctors and the nurses and the EMTs and the healthcare workers that are helping people survive this. And it's just so true. They are our champions, and we certainly need to lift them up in prayer and love during this time, because they're putting themselves and their families' health on the line. And it really is, it helps us redefine. I do believe we're going to come out of kinder, gentler society. And I'm holding on to that.
Yeah, I think we are. At the end of the day, it's true. We're going to come out stronger from this. As the saying goes, if it doesn't kill you, makes you stronger. I'll tell you what, the next pandemic, because inevitably it's coming again, or the next round of something bad, I think that the world's going to be a lot more ready for it, right? Because you know, as I was speaking with Alec yesterday, everything that happens that seems negative is preparing you for what's coming. If you're going through a difficult time now, it's because you're going to come out of it stronger, because you're going to recover. And the next time that you need that strength, you need that courage, you need that experience, you're going to have it, right? Even if something goes down, you know, they say starting over is an advantage because you're not starting from zero, you're starting from experience. So just understand that, and you know, understand and appreciate that. I do. I mean, certainly, listen, I've fallen. You know, I may have.
I can't agree more. There's so much wisdom in the man. He was the World War II vet, and I'm sure I won't quote him correctly, but it was like he says, "I lived in where I landed on the beaches of Normandy to fight for our freedom, and right now all you're being asked to do is to sit on the sofa." And so it's a sobering thought. We've had, you know, we've lived in a time where war was something that happened in faraway lands, but right now it's right here. This is what we need to do, and we need to keep ourselves safe, keep our families safe, and support those that are out there, the nurses and the doctors that are fronting. You know, they're basically fighting on the front lines for us to make sure that we stay safe and to keep as many people alive as possible. And it's a time for us to be, our hearts to be full of gratitude and generosity for the people that are taking care of us.
Yeah, that, and you know what, and also the appreciation, and also listen, and we can all do our part, right? Right now, we're being asked to do our part by just staying put and staying safe, and keeping that gratitude, and that for all of those people. And one of the ways that we can do this is we need to keep our spirits up and be in good humor, so that when we are at the grocery store, we're not giving the person stocking the shelf a hard time, or the person at the register, because you know what, they may not be playing the same role as the people that are in the hospital that are saving lives and putting their lives at risk, because everybody that's in there is got some kind of a health challenge. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in the hospital. But the people that are at those cash registers, to a certain extent, they're also putting themselves at risk, and they're essential because they have to be there. Otherwise, we don't eat, right? So it's important to stay in good humor, whether you're going to go to the doctor and yeah, you're not having a great time, you're not feeling well, whatever it is. But guess what? He's having to deal with that as well. So trying to stay in good humor and stay light and sense of humor and keeping it laughing. That's why, by the way, I hope you're coming. I think you are. We had this conversation on Saturday. We're going to have an amazing show, so to speak, where Alec and Eric and Dan Clark, we're going to have some musicians. We're going to have a couple of people singing through. We're going to do it via Zoom. And we're going to live stream it. We're working out the kinks so the audio will come out, and then afterwards we'll probably have a little comedy skit with Dan Clark as well. So, but just getting back to what I was saying, staying in good humor, so that when, for example, my wife comes home, I'm not freaked out, and I don't have the kids freaked out over the fact that she went to work and that she's this, or stay in that good humor. It's so important. And again, we all do our part by staying home. Like you said, I saw a great one the other day, and then I'll stop flapping my lips. There's a guy, just a picture of a guy laying on a sofa, like falling asleep, passed out, and it says, last year I was called a lazy bum. this year, look at me, I'm saving the world, just by sitting there and doing nothing at the very least to stay home. So just injecting a little humor.
I love that. That's
so important.
That's really good. I like that.
Yeah.
The
Sharon
one that
says it feels
basically
so
says this is the new currency, right?
Oh, looks like you're out.
I had a friend email me, and she says, you're good friends with somebody. It used to be they'd bring you a bottle of wine, and she was holding up a 4-pack of toilet paper.
That's so funny. It was my son's 16th birthday this Sunday, so we did have a party for him, right? But it was a party via a big pop-up movie screen outside, and everybody just drove up and stayed in their cars, and we had a drive-in movie. But one of his friends gave him a roll of toilet paper with 2 eyes, a mask, right? A protective mask with 2 gloves hanging off of the side, and that was the gift. And I thought that was hilarious. It was great. So that's good. Let's see some of these comments. Exactly. Our hearts need to be full of gratitude and generosity. Absolutely. Good humor fills you up and it shines onto others. Yes. So listen, it's all part of life's experiences. You got to laugh. It was Charlie Chaplin that said, "A day without laughter is a day wasted." So make sure through all of this that you're laughing, that you're reading something funny, watching a funny show, funny skit, telling a joke, reading a joke, and share your laugh and your smile with others. I was on a mastermind call the other day, and we just decided to, we're just going to laugh. So we just started laughing for no reason for 30 or 40 seconds. And it was great. It makes you feel good.
Your immune system. It's healthy for you. You need to do that more. Turn on a comedy. Yep.
Absolutely. Say that all the time. I'd rather laugh with the sinners than cry with the saints any day anyway. So let's talk a little bit more, a couple more nuggets from maybe Outwitting the Devil. Just, again, there's so much in there. But one of the ways that, and I'll just kind of start by saying that one of the ways that fear, the control of negativity, we're going to call negative energy, right? We're going to call it negative energy or the devil or however you want to express it, but that's the way that the book is written, is the thing that can weaken you the most, and that's your softest spot. So just do what you can to fight that off. So how, what do you recommend? How else? I mean, we've already been talking about a lot of different things, but what else? Give us a little bit more of your insight.
Well, in the book, Napoleon talks about drifting, and he says he uses the term 98% of people drift. That means you go with the flow. You don't have that definiteness of purpose. You are you're a follower, not a leader, and you're making decisions based. You go out to dinner. Where would you like to eat? Whoa, I don't care, whatever. And that's where he can get into people's minds through that element of fear to take control of drifters. And non-drifters are people who have control of their own mind. And the devil in the book says, I can't touch them. I'm just forget them because they're in control of their own thoughts. They know where they're going. They're the natural born leaders. They're going to create value in the world. But he says, I have 98%. I'm fine. I got all these people I can corrupt, right? But as part of that, he says, when you start having bad habits like couch surfing, it creates something called hypnotic rhythm. And when it's negative, that hypnotic rhythm causes a lot of trouble. That's why right now we all have to be so careful, because we may be quarantined for a month or 2 months and we can get into really bad habits of not doing what we need to when we do, not preparing for the future. And we can get into those negative routines that will be hard for us to get out of when we're back in business. And that's something that's so important. And it talks about this in the book. Now, let's have some good hypnotic rhythm, using this time to be more virtual, to recreate, come up with things that can become economic engines for us, gives us the opportunity to be prepared so we can truly succeed when the world is back in business. But that is something I'm really afraid about for people right now that are their entire lives have been turned upside down, and they're paralyzed and they're sitting on the sofa and they're getting lazy, and that's negative, and it it becomes a pattern and a habit of hypnotic rhythm. It's going to be really hard to change that and get back into the swing of things. So I really want people to pay attention to that. The rest of the book talks about how to break through those chains of fear. And it starts with definiteness of purpose, knowing that burning desire. What do you want to accomplish? What do you want your legacy to be? And then, of course, self-mastery. And right now, self-mastery is very important because we're the only ones around. If we don't do it, nobody's going to.
Right.
And understanding the importance of how you spend your time. Allow yourself to binge watch for several hours if that's what you want to do, but then also dedicate that same amount of time to working on your business, not just in your business. What are you creating for the future? And then the environment. So many people today that are now forced to work at home, they haven't set up a place. Now I'm sitting here, I set this office up at my ranch so that I could work. This is a desk, I'm working. And that's, creating that environment. And who do you have around you? Well, if you're all alone, I get worried for all the single people out there, but make sure you're using technology to stay in contact. I think I've shared this with you before. It's not social distancing is important, but not emotional distancing. Stay in touch with people. And so many of the younger generation, all they do is text. I go, well, let's shake it up a little bit. Let's actually talk to people on the phone again, ear to ear, heart to heart. And so we continue having that heart connection.
Yeah, absolutely. And FaceTime, visual. I'm liking the visual, calling people on FaceTime and actually getting that connection, because the connection on the phone is good. But when you connect, when you see somebody's face and smile and everything else, I think that goes even further. So sorry, and I apologize. Yeah. I feel like the lag is kind of I'm breaking in when you're lagging, so I apologize for that. I will.
That's okay.
Since I got the mic here for a second, one of the things that one of the cures. Actually, I digress a little bit. You're absolutely right. People are getting used to just being home and getting up late and not doing anything. I would really absolutely caution against it, because remember, listen, we're still at that age that we remember what it was like to be kids and be in school, how difficult it was to go back to school after a long weekend or after spending the summer vacation and getting up at 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning. Now you've got to get up at 6 and 7 again. I'm not saying get up at the same time, which I would encourage. Get up at the same time as you would when you have to go to work, just so that you stay in the rhythm, but be active and be doing something, feeding your mind, doing something in those hours, especially in the morning, so that you can stay. Again, something I posted today, or was it yesterday? It says, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So if you stay sharp and you stay ready, then when that engine roars to life again and it starts running, you're not going to be that person trying to catch up. You'll be running along the train as it's starting to catch up. So I will say, one of the things I like to say as well is that the cure to fear and anxiety is action. Do something. Oh, I can't do anything. My business is closed. Okay, do something so that you're growing your business. Do something now. Educate yourself. Get into a program. Hire a coach. Do whatever. Take another program, like you said. Get certified in something from Harvard or Yale or whatever, so that you can say, look, or you know what? Join Sharon's group of studying the book of Outwitting the Devil, so you can learn those strategies and those techniques and those things, that because there's so much out there right now that we can ingest. So I would just encourage people, feed your mind, because action is the cure to fear and anxiety, and so is knowledge and education, right? Just learn more. Don't fall into the fear. Fear is most of the fear that we go through is because we just don't have enough information, and we don't have the knowledge to understand that that's not what's going on, or whatever it is, even though obviously there's a reason to be, I'm not saying that fear is irrational right now, but anyway, I digress. Back to you.
Well, and to your point, Tony, high emotion, low, right? That's why they tell you not to sign any contracts after you've had surgery or a divorce or something traumatic, a death in your family. High emotion, low intelligence. Right now, everybody's emotional. And so it's best to try and basically channel that emotion into productivity. And, I tell people, remember when you said, if only I had time, if only I had time, I would. Well, you know what? You have time. So start doing the things that you always wanted to do. If I only had the time, I would learn to paint. If I only had the time, I'd learn to play the piano. Guess what? Good time to start right now. You've got the time. If I only had time, I would, teach my son to play baseball. Well, teach him to play baseball. All of these things, we have an opportunity to use the time wisely and create something new and feed our heart and not our fear.
Love it. Yeah, feed your heart, not just your fears, feed your soul. Absolutely. Love it, love it, love it. So Sherry says she's getting ready to publish her new book. Awesome. Drop the title in here. Maybe we can, everyone that's watching could look you up and maybe pre-order it. So that's awesome.
They can pre-order my book. I have a new book called Exit Rich. It was supposed to publish this month. We delayed it till July, but it's available right now. You can go to exitrichbook.com and get all kinds of special gifts from us if you pre-order. It's I'm excited. Wrote it with Michelle Seiler Tucker, the largest female business broker in the country. And I'm very excited that Inc. Magazine picked it up for their imprint. So it's going to be out in July, but you can pre-order it now and get all kinds of gifts from us. ExitRichBook.com.
There you go.
And I am absolutely encouraging everyone. Now is the time to write your book. Absolutely. Get it done. Do the course that you've been thinking about doing, but to write your story. Absolutely.
That's it. One of the things I love to tell my clients, my friends, anybody that'll listen, frankly, is that your story is not yours to keep. It may be your story, but it's not yours to keep. It's yours to share. Because by sharing your story could unlock somebody else's prison or give them the permission to share theirs. So share your story. Somebody needs to hear it, because you didn't go through, I say it all the time, that I didn't go through the things I went through in my life just for them to be an experience. It's taught me a lesson. Now it's up to me to share the story, to teach other people to maybe grow through what they go through, hence the name Get Up and Grow, right? Helping people grow through what they go through. So your story can help somebody grow through what they go through. So share your story, write your book.
It's so important, Tony. A few years ago, I almost retired because I lost my youngest son in 2012. And everybody watching and listening had something happen in their life that stopped them in their tracks. A divorce, a financial disaster, business loss. But I will tell you, nothing compares to losing a child. We're not supposed to outlive our children. And so I literally lived my life in neutral, numb for several years. And a couple of years ago, I almost thought about retiring because I wasn't getting the same excitement in my life. I was literally kind of just existing. And I got a lot of pushback from people. And I think I actually got a little pushback from him. I could hear him saying, "Get over it, Mom. There's more for you to do." And that's exactly what you just said, Tony. There's more for us to do. The things that we've been through, once I was willing to open up and start talking about that experience, it was amazing the number of people that came to me and just really felt uplifted. And so by sharing your story, there are people out there that can benefit from understanding what you went through. And that vulnerability is amazing. People, we all have had things happen to us, but we survived. And as a part of where you are now, you're stronger for it. And that is, if you can share it, then you can help someone else get through much more quickly and give them that ray of sunshine. And Napoleon Hill said, out of every mistake or adversity comes a seed of an equal or greater benefit. Well, I don't know what the benefit of losing my son is. I won't ever define that. But I do know that I've helped a lot of people by being open and honest about what happened and what's happening to the world right now. Total adversity. But what will your seed of an equal or greater benefit be? You're in the driver's seat. You have the opportunity to discover that.
Absolutely. I say it all the time, where now is the time to sow those seeds. Sow the seeds, make the investments, and make the investment in yourself. The best investment you'll ever make is the investment you make in yourself, because it will pay the best dividends. It will pay the best returns for you, for your family, for your business, for your future. So invest in yourself. Sherry says, mastery, ultimate thinking, steps for transforming to a powerful life. Sounds like a great one. Sounds like a great one. Mine is actually Get Up and Grow. So that one, by the way, and Dana says on here for me to take my own advice, because I've started writing in, but I will say that just so that, look, I've started. That's the beginning of my book. So I have started. So yeah, share your story, everybody.
Good
because
for you.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm proud of you, Tony.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So yeah, sharing our story, share your story as a victor, not a victim. That's actually another great one. When sharing your story of your challenges and your adversities, share it as being the victim, that you've gotten through it. Don't just share the bad things that happened, but share what you've learned from it and how you've grown through it. And again, sharing that, by the way, doesn't necessarily have to be, it could just be by making, it doesn't have to be a 300-page book. It could just be an article. It could be a blog. It could be a video that you're putting on social media. And it's scary because there's so many people that are like, I'm scared of social media, and but people are going to know. Well, you know what? These days of social media, for God's sakes, and technology, people can find out more about you than they'll find out things that you've already forgotten about yourself. And like, oh my God, that's right. So, share your story. And for the most part, if you have a private community that you can share in, it's just going to stay within the community. But it's so freeing, by the way, when you do open up and share a story that's been hurting you or keeping you down and keeping you back. When you share that, even if you write a book and you share it in third person, like it wasn't even you, it was somebody else, that releases you from that prison. And I'm telling you, it helps other people release them from their prison as well. So you could be that hero for somebody else. So, oh, there you go. I thought you froze there for a second. So, give you, you got another couple of minutes. What are some other things that you'd like to drop on us? And there's so much to cover and I'd love to have you back. I've been saying that a lot lately, but I really would. I'd love to have you back in a couple of weeks, so we can kind of dig down deep into maybe into 3 Feet from Gold, because that one's fantastic as well. And hopefully we'll already be out of this crisis and we'll be coming out of it. So the conversation will hopefully be a lot different, and the same. To be honest, it'll probably be the same as well, right? It'll be different and the same. So, give us a couple of some final thoughts, because I want to be respectful of your time and everybody else that's on here as well.
Well, absolutely. And Tony, thank you so much for doing this and inviting me. And I'm so thrilled we're able to make it happen. I didn't really talk too much today about money. So I really want to encourage everybody. This is a time for you to invest in yourself and to sit down and look and see where you are financially and say, where has my money gone? What investments have I made? Celebrate the things that you've done correctly, and then acknowledge the things that you've done incorrectly. And what changes do you need to make? Small ones to make your life better. Look at your good debt, your bad debt. Look at your home mortgage with the historic low interest rates. Have you considered refinancing your mortgage? You might be able to, if you have cards that are high interest rate out there, maybe you need to refinance your home. Your payment will come down, and you may have enough money of equity that you can pull out to pay off those high credit cards, and just don't reuse them. All right, all these things, and analyze your habits. Now is the time to do that and make 1 or 2 small changes that can help you create a financial future that's much more livable and much more safe and not distressed. We want to support you going from financial distress to financially secure to financially free. I have programs that can help you with that. If you are interested, reach out to us. Info at Sharon Lechter. One of them we've got really almost is a $1,500 course on my website. We're offering it for $79. You want more information, you can go to Your Money Mastery Intro. Bit.ly Money Mastery Intro is the link. But we're here to support you. Reach out to us, info at SharonLechter.com. Anything we can do to help you and support you. And again, give Tony lots of love for doing this program, because he's out there every single day bringing guests on to share wisdom and to support each of you. And we're here to serve. We're here to serve you and support you. Start off with the personal success equation, personalsuccessequation.com. There's no commitment there. It's completely free to help you decide what you might need to tweak in how you're living your life right now so that you can create the success that you so richly deserve. Thank you, Tony.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for being on here. And if we can just have you hang out for a couple of minutes afterwards. So thank you everybody for watching. I hope you got the picked up everything that Sharon's been dropping, because it's been a lot of great things, a lot of great ideas, great suggestions, and a lot of wisdom being shared. So thank you everyone that watched, and thank you for sharing this video. And if you haven't shared it yet, please do tag somebody that needs to hear it. And remember to share your story, because your story matters. Your story is important, and somebody needs to hear it, because you can help somebody else that's going through it, much like Sharon did when she started opening up to sharing her story. And listen, bad things are going to happen, and some things we'll never understand why they happen, but many things that happen in our life are happening for us to help us grow and to become that better version of us and to prepare us for what's coming. So with that said, look up Sharon Lechter on Instagram, on Facebook, obviously at SharonLechter.com, and personal success equation.
Personal success equation.
It's on here, personalsuccessequation.com. Look her up. It's all in the chat. Look her up. And certainly you can find me as well on Instagram, Tony Rodriguez 2.0. You can find me on Facebook as well. And certainly I'm available as well. You can always send me a private message, and I'm available to help with any questions you may have. And many of you know that that's the life that I'm in as well, is to help people, that helping themselves and helping their own businesses grow and thrive and everything else. So we're here for you. This is all about helping you by sharing some wisdom, sharing some knowledge, inspiration, and hope, and just keep that levity. And I just hope that you share this. And even if you don't share this video, that you share the stories that you've heard, you share the knowledge that you're learning along the way, because it's I truly believe that it's my social responsibility. And I think it's everyone's social responsibility to share what they learn, because it's by sharing with others that we grow, we grow through this, right? Because we're all in this together, and we're all growing through what we go through. So my friends, remember that life is not about how many times you fall, but it's about getting up after every fall. You fall down 7 times and get up 8. And every single time you fall, you have the opportunity to get up and grow. So appreciate you all, my friends. I will see you tomorrow at 6 o'clock for another Tony Talks episode. Sharon, again, thank you so much for sharing your time, your heart, and your knowledge with us. Love you for that. Love all of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming on here. And I will see you all tomorrow. Appreciate you. Take care.